Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back to the Hebrew Chosen Elect Sabbath class. I want to start by giving all praise, glory, honor, Yahweh, B'Shem Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being true name of the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai being true name of His Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. Those being the real names in the ancient Hebrew. This week, we're going to pick back up in our reading in Deuteronomy chapter 1. We'll also be heavily touching on this class in the importance of having law and order in a community, right? You can't have a community that runs well without law and order, right? So we'll be touching on that in this class. Probably take up the majority of the class. We probably will pretty much be locked into chapter 1 this Shabbat. Because they teach the law is done away with, but society runs off of laws and order, but the laws of God are done away with. So it's no wonder that the community of quote unquote believers is filled with adulterers, rapists, drug dealers, thieves, killers, but the law is done away with, and one day the rapture is going to come, and those things are going to see the lake of fire, but then who's left to get raptured is confusion. So we'll be touching into how it really, you can't have the one without the other. You cannot have a community without law and order, right? So before we go in, get our quick announcement out the way. New moon, upcoming high holy days, and hopefully it's set up right because I forgot to set it up. So upcoming new moons, high holy days. New moon is actually coming up tomorrow. So tomorrow at sundown will be the new moon for those of us that keep the first sign of light. Those that keep the completely dark, new moon is tonight. So I've been meaning to get that on a flyer. Do you got that?
What's that?
The list of new moons, because the last one stops at last new moon.
No, I can get it.
We gotta get it, yeah, because I've been meaning to update our announcements. But so that's next new moon, and then leading us into the next high holy day, which is Feast of First Fruits.
Oh, send it to me.
Yeah, just text it to me.
No, that's the same one. That's the same one.
Yeah, the old one stops at last month. But so tomorrow, sundown, new moon, leading us to the next high holy day, which is Feast of First Fruits, also known as Pentecost, due to it being 50 days from Passover. I always like to bring out, not 100. It's called Pentecost for a reason. So that's what we have coming up May the 31st. 1 p.m. to dusk. We'll be keeping it at the Charles Price Memorial Park in Middletown, Delaware, Pavilion number 8. Please feel free to bring a signature dish and or beverage if you plan on coming. Also, we ask that if you're able, that you give a $25 free will donation to go towards the food, drinks, charcoal, various different things that we need to have a good cookout feast day, right? That's if able. If not, you want to keep the feast, still come out. Also of importance at the park, that all alcoholic beverages must be in a red cup and no parking on the grass. So if you want to come out, we look forward to seeing you. Make sure you, if you can, RSVP with either me or Brother Yakinan, just so that we got a good idea of head count and, you know, the amount of food, drinks, stuff, the sort that we need, plates, utensils, all of that. So like I said, if you're going to RSVP or you have questions about various different topics, you want to come out to class, you want to join the camp, contact us at me at 302-510-7147 or on Facebook at We Are Israel, and Brother Yakanan at 508-840-7710 or on Facebook, Brandon Daniels Yakanan Maccabee Yashala. Also, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channels, HCE Red Pill Reality and HCE Reloaded. That'll do it for that. Also, so we can get to the reading, but also those donations can be sent through the Cash App going across the bottom of the screen. # Hebrew Chosen Elect, and # them Feast of First Fruits or Pentecost. Also, we asked if you're willing and able to help out our ministry to donate through that same Cash App as well, and earmark that just camp alms or donations. And, you know, we say Thawada in advance for anything that brothers and sisters give. So now, without further ado, we go ahead into our reading today, Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. When you're ready, go ahead and bring that out. Whoever's reading.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, 1 through 12. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on the side Jordan, in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel, and Laban and Hazeroth, and Dizahab.
Mm-hmm.
There are 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir unto Kadesh Barnea. And it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spake unto the children of Israel according unto all that Yahweh had given him in commandment unto them. And after he had slain Sihon, the king of the Amorites, which dwelt in Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, which dwelt in Ashtaroth and Edrei. On this side Jordan, in the land of Moab, began Moses to declare this law, saying, Yahweh our power spake unto us in Horeb, saying, Ye have dwelt long enough in this mount. Turn you and take your journey and go to the mount of the Amorites, and unto all the places nigh thereunto, in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale, and in the south, and by the seaside to the land of the Canaanites, and unto Lebanon, unto the great river, the river Euphrates, unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give unto them and to their seed unto them. And I spake unto you in that time, saying, I am not able to bear you myself alone. Yahweh, your power, hath multiplied you, and behold, ye are this day as the stars of heaven for multitude. Yahweh, our power of our fathers, make you 1,000 times so many more as ye are, and bless you as he hath promised you.
Mm-hmm.
How can I myself alone bear your cumbrance and your burden and your strife?
Okay, so first point, Moses is asking, how can he bear alone our cumbrance, our burden, and strife? Because we know earlier he had ordained there to be judges, leaders in Israel, pastors, and that he gave the standard you were supposed to choose out men that were lovers of truth, hated covetousness, and over and over again we see he's giving credence to having rank and order. People, our people really hate having rank and order, having to answer to somebody else and not just always doing their own pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And some people even take upon themselves where they want all the rank, they want all the order, everybody to answer to them, right? I'm the king of all Israel, third under Christ. Moses wasn't like that. And Moses, he actually really did actual big things and miracles by the Spirit of the Most High. He was used to really get things done and save Israel, but he didn't even take that prideful stance of I'm above everybody. So he said that he can't bear your cumbrance alone, your burden and your strife. So what is cumbrance, right? And cumber,
VT, to arrest, to concern, to trouble, to grieve, to load, to crowd, a variety of frivolous arguments.
Right there. To load, to crowd. This is the 1828 Noah Webster Dictionary definition, right? To load, to crowd. So the crowd is a group of people. And the Most High promised, and even during this time, he said, we're like the sand of the sea. We've been multiplied like the sand of the sea. So I can't do it all on my own, right? I can't be the HNIC Grand Poobah third under Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? I can't bear your cumbrance alone. So a crowd, go ahead and I'll read that next part. It's using it in a sentence.
To load.
A variety
of frivolous arguments cumbers the memory to no purpose.
So what does a large crowd of hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands, what comes with that? Arguments, disagreements. And it says frivolous arguments. A lot of those arguments are really about nothing.
Yep, that's what frivolous. Not having any serious purpose or value.
We see that with Jake all the time, especially with kids. That's really a childlike mentality, but our people, we act like that as grown adults. We bicker and argue about nothing, especially in the household, especially today with the freedoms that women have here. So it's nothing but frivolous arguments between man and woman in the home, just like a bunch of children. So he said, I can't bear that on my own. It's hundreds of thousands of y'all don't like to get along. You argue over things that have zero importance, and somebody has to keep order. Some way there has to be order maintained in a community of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, right? Also, so another definition of cumbrance. Go ahead and read that for me. So this is just off a simple Google search.
A cumbrance or an encumbrance refers to a burden, hindrance, or obstacle.
So you're an obstacle. Trying to keep order and govern multitudes of people is going to be a burden on you, and it's going to be an obstacle, and you living a life that's peaceful and keeping sanity, right? So one man can do it on its own. That's why rank and order is needed in no matter what type of environment it is. That's why sports teams, book clubs, there's always a rank and file. Go ahead.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40. Let all things be done with decency and order. You know what I mean? So everything has to be done in decency and order. It's going to cause confusion. If not, you're going to have all these frivolous things in your life. Like even if you're dealing with somebody on the street, if they're not trying to get in order, and they're not trying to go with your plan, that's going to make you prosper. They're going to cause a hindrance to your progress. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful what you do, even when you're all out there on the streets and how you move. It's a law to those things.
Right. And without order, you have what?
Chaos.
Exactly. And that's what we got. That's what we have in our communities. That's what we got amongst our people, especially our young people, but also our older, those that are supposed to be leaders, examples. We got 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds that's still getting caught up in petty drug sales, right? Or getting locked up for petty disagreements that turn to fights in front of liquor stores. or still you got 6-year-olds that's still banging over blocks that don't belong to them, right? That's what we have in our community.
Hanging on the same corner for 12 hours.
Yeah.
And over 40.
Right.
Or about to be 40.
But our leaders, which would be our what? Our church leaders. They telling us just believe on Jesus, come to church, but the law is done away with. Order is done away with. We're going to, get to that more in depth. But that's what you see in our communities. You don't see that in any other communities. Right? And that's what, Moses is saying. I can't do it on my own. Your cumbrance, your burden, your strife is too much for one man. It's too much for me to carry. And keep reading that definition.
Burden, hindrance, or obstacle. It describes anything that slows progress, makes action difficult, or acts as a troublesome weight.
Mm-hmm. So this has to be weeded out for the progress to come as a people, right? And what's the end goal? The end goal is dominion. The end goal is to be a light to the world, to be, what's Deuteronomy 7:6 a holy set apart nation. Holy set apart nation.
Well, in the definition right there, it says slows progress. So anything that is stopping your progression and your positivity, you got to X that out. And I mean, so you can move on and have betterness for yourself. So you can have somewhat of a spiritual prosperity.
Mm-hmm. And
well, sometimes a physical prosperity, but definitely your spiritual prosperity.
You got to have that first.
Like,
I mean, that's
nothing that's going to disrupt your peace.
Mm-hmm. And then physical prosperity. Physical is always going to follow the spiritual, right? It's always going to come next in line. If you take care of your spirit, you're automatically going to start to take care of your physical body, like your physical health. Ain't nobody about to be in the spirit with a right mind state, not in darkness, and be given to overeating, given to alcoholism, given to weed dependency, drugs, coke, heroin, whatever. But let's not leave out weed. Like weed is a dependency, is major amongst our people because you can still function. You can still drive a car, so you're good. Nah, you can't think right. You can't make proper decisions when you're dependent on drugs. So it slows your progress, right?
Depending on the context, the word is used in a few specific ways. Everyday language, a physical or mental burden. The heavy winter gear was a cumbrance to the hikers. So
we come with, as a people, as thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people with different thoughts of what we like, what bothers me, what bothers you. Everybody's various different triggers, whatever.
People's
pet peeves. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's like heavy winter gear for hikers. So that all has to be brought together to be a body of all these thousands of people that everybody is looking to the same common good for everybody else. Right? And that's a work that, is damn near impossible. Even with law and order, right? Without it, though, it is impossible. It'll never happen. It actually gives way to everybody doing their own thing, having their own pet peeves, and handling their problems however they feel, and being about themselves. So you could do harm to somebody else as long as it brings good to you, because you don't have a standard to live by that is a standard that's not just about your own good, but the good of others. Get 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 25 or 4. Yeah, 24.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 24. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth.
So yeah, that you have to have that. You have to have that for a community to work, right? Let every man seek his own, not his own, but every man another's wealth. And how do you have that? You have that by set laws, instructions, ideals that are for the common good, right? You have to have that. That X's out everybody doing their own thing, having their own mind, and operating just about self and not about the common good for the nation, for the community. Back to Deuteronomy 13:18.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 13 through 18. Take you wise men and understanding and known among your tribes, and I will make them rulers over you.
So this is the first thing that has to be done to make it all work, is you have to have wise men, you have to have leaders. Leaders to do what? Uphold those common laws, common standards, and order for the whole community, the whole nation. So they have to be wise men of understanding. Go ahead. Known among your tribes. So they have to be known. You can't be living in a shell. You can't be at home keyboard warrior in the whole Israelite community or even Christian community, believer community. You have to be known among your tribes. So you have to get out there and make yourself known, right? Go ahead.
And he answered me and said, the thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do. So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, and captains over hundreds, and captains over 50s, and captains over 10s, and officers among your tribes.
And what do you have to be known for?
You have to be known for valor. You have to be known to have wisdom. You have to be known to be able to have understanding. You have to be known to have good leadership. You have to be able to be somebody who is moving towards eldership. And you want to be able to teach your youth how to be honorable men. That's what you want to be. If not, you're going to grow up and be a disappointed grown up. And last, to add to that, you have to be known to keeping all those things, keeping that standard yourself. Because if not, then people are going to look at you like, well, you saying it sounds good, but you don't even uphold it. And if you don't uphold it, then really, I don't got to uphold it. I can just do it sometimes. And I can talk the talk and not uphold it just like you don't. So it has to be everything. Yakanan just went down that list. And then you have to be yourself, an upholder of everything that you teach, of the standard, what's required of everybody in the nation. You got to be that example. Go ahead. I got a precept for what has happened to us because we didn't keep this. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3. I'm going to start verse 1. And it says, for behold, Yahweh.
Hold on, let me pull it up. Okay. I'm gonna let you pull it because I don't think it's in there. But if it is, we'll just bring it out again. Okay. So this is because of what happened to us if we don't have what?
Law and order.
Law and order. All right.
For behold, Yahweh our power.
What verse?
Starting at verse 1.
Oh, right.
For behold, Yahweh our power of hosts don't take away from Jerusalem and from Judah. We are the tribe of Judah. From Judah and the stay and the staff. That means he's taking away the rulership. He's taking away our might. the whole stay of bread. He's taking away the knowledge from us. And the whole stay of water. So there's no knowledge moving forth unto us. The mighty men and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient. And you see that every day. You see children out in the neighborhood, out in our communities. They got no respect for the elders. You can't say nothing to them. They get smoked the adults when you correct them. You ain't my mama. You can't tell me nothing. And the base against the honorable. Everybody's like to get on this stupid drill music and stuff like that. They ain't listening to any hip hop or anything with a message in it. That's all prophecy coming forth.
And I want to say, add to it, it said, I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. Who do we as the people look up to? Do we look up to elders, or do we look up to who gets status in the entertainment world, the sports world, the rap world, you know, all these different worlds of entertainment? That's who we're looking up to. That's our princes. And you can be in your 60s and you still following behind some 18-year-old, some NBA young boy, because they rap good, or comedians. I'm 60. I should be pushing forth how to act, how to build up the community, but I'm following behind and I'm pushing Kevin Hart to be your leader.
Or as you see, all our children, and I'm gonna push it to my son. I'm gonna use my son as an example. All of them wearing the damn Pooh Shiesty uniform, wearing the black look like a burglar all the time. Got the Pooh Shiesty mask on. And I try to push it to him like they pushing him forwards because they have an agenda so that they can profile you, whether you black, white, or whatever, because you wearing a uniform which represents a burglar. So when they see you out and something has happened, some type of atrocity in the neighborhood or some type of crime, they automatically profile you by the way that you are dressed because you are wearing this damn Pooh Shiesty uniform, and they can put him forth as the prince right now inside of the community. And it's the trend to dress like that and walk around with a ski mask in the summertime and wear all black.
Yeah, and if it ain't Pooh Shiesty, like you just said, NBA young boy.
Yeah.
So he coming out and he's gangster and he's a YN and he'll spin the block, but he's also going to switch and walk and runway walk like a chick. He's going to push that how you can be effeminate but still be gangster. And
he's young. How many kids he got? How many kids NBA young boy got? He got a lot of kids though, right? Y'all know he got a lot of kids. He got like 11, 12 kids. And what he like 25 or something? They pushing that too. That you can be careless where you put your seed at. You know what I mean? When she making you women a wife, she got and see a good wife instead of some hood rat chick. He got all these hood rats knocked up. You know what I mean? So that's a bad thing. That's not a good thing.
And it says babes shall rule over them. How do babes rule over? Babes aren't. It's not babes up in government positions. It's not babes that's in authority because they're terrorizing the neighborhood.
Yeah, and on top of that, like if you go inside a lot of drug houses and stuff, the young boy who's selling the drugs, he ruling inside the drug house. You know what I mean? He's saying what goes on inside of the house. He said who coming in and out, I'm doing this, I'm bagging up over here, and so on and so forth. Or they ruling their parents' house that may have an addiction, and they telling their mother or father what they gonna do because they paying the bills through their drug distribution. You know what I mean? In the neighborhood. So they ruling the household and they ruling as babes.
And they ruling the neighborhood because the elders of the community is afraid to say anything to them. Elders is afraid to say. I seen a video. I ain't saying nothing to them YNs. You might get shot. So children, this is a bad thing. This is a punishment. This is the outcome of
not keeping the law.
No law and order. You go ahead. I just wanted to bring that up.
And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. When a man shall take hold of his brother of their house of his father, saying, Thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, you know, we was growing up, we wanted Jay-Z to be our leader. He had Rockaware and all of that stuff. We wanted to be just like him. We were singing that dope man stuff. We told you because we used to live it too. We used to look up to him, you know what I mean? We had the freshest Rockaware, you know what I mean? We had all the women on top of us and stuff too. You know what I mean? It made you that guy, you know what I mean? So we was living under this curse too. And that day shall we swear, saying, I will not be a healer, for I in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler of thy people.
You know what? Well, also, this is pointing out that without the law and order, it gets so bad. It gets so bad that those that are able to be leaders, those that are even put here to be leaders, won't step up to be that leader because you see how ignorant the people is, how off the people is. You just don't want to do it. You don't want the hassle. You don't want the cumbrance, the burden, the strife that comes with that position.
Because like you just said, the old man in the video said, I'm not dealing with the lions, man. You say something to them, they take it wrong, man. They're gonna act feminine and shoot you.
Right. So all that's a fruit of not having law and order, and we're gonna actually go into that. So if you're taking notes, put that one to the side and add it as we go forth, right?
It was more meat on there, but
all right. You want more meat? Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. Verse 8: For Jerusalem is ruined and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Yahweh, to provoke the eyes of his glory. So right now we out there on the corners and doing stupid stuff. We provoking the Most High to anger. You know what I mean? We're in a fallen state. We operating on a low vibration as Judah, you know what I mean, and Jerusalem. You know what I mean? We facing our ruin. We going to jail and all that stupid stuff, and we glorifying it. I mean, verse 9. They show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have awarded evil unto themselves. You see now in the black community, I remember like 20 years ago, man, if it was homosexuals, you had to hide that in the closet. You couldn't walk around openly as no homosexual in the black community. You get punched in your face. We got a cross-dresser walking around the neighborhood right now in our neighborhood. We got a young boy walking around as a little girl in our neighborhood, and he got braids like a little girl in our neighborhood, and everybody all right with that, and nobody rebuking that. They declaring their sin as Sodom.
And it's a church on the corner.
And it's a church on the
It's a church on every corner.
Right on the church. The flag on the church say all are welcome. Now, when was you able to come as you are when the scriptures say anyone who is in Christ is a new creature? So where the rebuke at for that? How you gonna walk in the Lord's house like that? And it's supposed to be the Lord's house.
Or it's supposed to be they come as they are, and you let them know what
they need to wash themselves.
The truth they're saying. You're supposed to be a watchman and let the people know. You wasn't meant to lay with men. You can't even bring forth more people by taking part in the desire. You're taking part of your lust, and you ain't supposed to do that way. Man was made to lay with women and then make more men and women.
That's right.
You can't do it if you're a man and you're trying to play the role of a woman. You're saying that God is wrong. That's what you're saying. And we got the churches, supposed leaders of a community in all our communities, but nobody is leading the people, leading the community.
Come on. Say ye to the righteous that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Oh, my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of their paths. And as you can see in our communities, being as though the father most likely is taken out of the household with the exception to the rule, you got women rule over the household, and they say it's acceptable to be like these rappers. It's acceptable to hang out on the street corners. It's acceptable to hang around the men and people in the neighborhood who are selling drugs and watch the activities and be amongst this father. It's okay because the women is making this okay, because the women rule over the household nowadays when it should be a man stepping up as leadership, because no better than a man is able to teach a boy how to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the women are supporting the gay boys.
Yeah,
They'll encourage it.
yeah.
I seen a video where they was doing that challenge with the leg up or whatever. A mother was doing it with her son.
Mm.
What's that
I
challenge
don't
called?
know.
Where they sit on one leg and they squat down and cross their leg. I don't know what
Mm.
it's called, but I'm sure
It's like it's
it's
the Nicki Minaj thing.
Okay, there you go.
And it has to do with the Elam God with the elephant head.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there's a pose that idol does, and it's like he said, it's what it is it's a you're standing on one leg, but you're also squatting. So you have to be, real. It does look effeminate, but it's also it's a challenge though, because it's something that can be done, but it's hard. It's kind of like doing a one-hand push-up.
Yeah.
Except for you stand on one leg, then it's real gay.
And
men don't do it.
Mother doing it with her son,
mm-hmm.
and he had the heel on like she had the heel on, because they do it most of the time with heels on. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes it harder or easier. I don't know what it does, but they do it with heels on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if they ain't pushing forth you can be whatever you want to be. Another thing they do why they shouldn't be running the households is they'll replace a boyfriend with their son.
Mm.
And I'm not saying like literal incest, but they'll put the son in that place and have him attached to her the same way he's supposed to be attached to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then he grows up and he like women and he's jumping from woman to woman, but his mom is his wife.
Taking boy mom.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of cleaving to his
right,
rib, instead of cleaving to his wife,
mm-hmm.
he cleaving to his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but she it's her fault though, because
mm-hmm.
the way she treats him is like he's her man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
this comes off of what we have. Our religions that push. You don't have to have laws. You don't have to have order. You just have to have Jesus.
Oh, I don't gotta listen to no man, because I'm married to Jesus.
Mm-hmm. And that, you can point to that because that's in every single neighborhood. Every neighborhood where we got the homosexuals now just rampant, the YNs rampant, the whorish daughters rampant, the drunks on the corner rampant. There's a church on all these corners, right? Which nowadays are predominantly women. The men ain't even coming to the church unless they're the flamers, women and flamers, because without the law and order, the men that's supposed to be standing up as men, being young men, becoming as they get older leaders of the new young men coming up. Those people is given to being on the corner, given to running through the whores, given to doing the drugs, given to being YNs because of no law and order.
Can I have one more thing? Mm-hmm. Proof that this is coming to pass. We never used to do the stuff these young kids are doing now. They is literally taking over stuff in droves, like them, what they call them, take over things they be doing.
But like parts, because they got social media.
They do it in malls. They do it in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
They do it any public place, and they just cause chaos, pandemonium. They be deep as hell, just disorderly, doing whatever they want to do. Nah, they just be tearing stuff up.
But
man.
We couldn't do
whatever.
But it would be extremely hard for us to do.
We never did nothing like that back when we was coming up, man.
Because now you got all these different ways to you can network that thing.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have did that, man. We would have thought like, nah,
we might not have did that, but we would have had
man,
Freak Nick.
That's stupid.
No, I'm saying
shutting stuff down.
Not that.
Nobody's gonna be able to do nothing.
What I'm saying, what we would have did is more Freakniks. Like you wouldn't have had to go. You wouldn't have had to go to Florida on spring break.
Yeah.
It would have been like Rehoboth Beach would have like 5 Freakniks in the summer. But they doing. Yeah, they meeting up. They doing tearing shit up,
running through stuff, stealing stuff. You know what I mean? Come on, man. That's why kids ain't got nothing to do now, because people don't even want kids teenagers nowhere because of how they act so unruly.
Mm-hmm.
They rule over.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm done with that, man.
All right. Go back. Go ahead. Deuteronomy. It was at verse 16. I think.
Somebody else read for a minute.
Verse 16.
I think so.
And I charged your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him.
So you have to have. This is why you have to have leaders. This is why you have to have rank and file. You have to have that because you're gonna have causes that have to be heard. You're gonna have disagreements that you need another a judge to hear the matter and to let decide. Hey, yeah, you're unbiased. You're in the wrong. You're in the right. You're in the right. You have to have that. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man for the judgment of Yahweh's and the cause that is too hard for you. Bring it unto me, and I will hear it.
See, and then you still have that highest rank and file, and that's what Moses would be. And then that's when you bring the matters that's just too hard to be handled by the whatever rank you're going to. Then you got, okay, bring it to the top, but you have to have that. You have to have the pyramid of order. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And I commanded you at that time all the things which ye should do.
All right. So stop right there. And now let's go. We'll go into it some more. So the importance of laws and order, whether in exile or in dominion, right? Because you get that, we're in captivity, right? We're in captivity. We can't have, it's evil to have rank. It's evil to have order. It's evil to try and, it's just evil because we're in captivity. We're in exile. We don't have the kingdom. It's evil trying to keep the laws of God, trying to keep the standard in captivity. So it's important. We're going to show the importance of it, whether that or whether in ancient times or present day, because what do the Christians teach? That was then. It's that was then. That's old time, Old Testament. Where it's a new day. People are different. That's the way they lived back then. Nah, it's still the same. What's right is right for now. It was then. What's wrong is wrong. So first thing, let's get, what is a community? All right. Somebody read that.
A community is a social unit of people who share something in common, such as a geographical location, identity, values, or interests.
Go ahead.
It provides members with a sense of belonging, social cohesion, and mutual support.
So that's what a community is, right? A social unit of people who share something in common, such as geographic location, identity. So if you're an Israelite, you're part of what? Israelite community. You can't leave it if you're an Israelite, because that's another thing. I'm tired of the community. I'm leaving the community. I don't like the way my matters were judged because it didn't go my way. I'm leaving the community. Well, if you're a part of the community, you can't just leave because things don't go your way. That's the whole purpose of the law and order. So you have to understand that things aren't always going to go to your benefit the way you want things to be. That's first and foremost, to have a community. And no matter what, you're a part of some community. That's the thing. So you want to leave the Israelite community, well, you're still part. It says geographic location. You're still a part of the American community, and you can't have things your way. So you want to be a YN, go ahead. Go ahead, pull up, spray the block, and guess what?
You're gonna go to jail. Or
You're going to jail or dead. And most of the time, I think we get more people in jail than we even get people dead. So you're going to be sleeping next to a toilet, smelling another grown man use the bathroom while you're trying to sleep. And that's just one thing out of the many different defects. You're going to live in a box. Your walls ain't going to be drywall no more. So when you get mad and you know how, you're a YN, you don't know how to control your attitude. So when you get mad and you want to punch your walls like you do at home, now your parents ain't got to pay to fix that. Now you can go to the infirmary and fix your broken knuckles, and they're going to do a shitty job about it, and you got yourself to blame. Congrats. Right?
It's a twofold curse because they go to jail, and then a lot of them become flaming homosexuals when they get in jail. Like, what's the rapper? I just seen something where dude, he got a boyfriend in jail.
Yeah. So he got man boys in jail.
Yeah. So it's like they don't even care about jail no more.
But you don't want to be a part of a community that's got standards, because the rules in that community, you can't do what you want. You can't have it your way, but you can't have it your way in the lifestyle you choose either.
I see one. It was this NFL player. I don't remember what his name was. He had went to jail, and they had turned him to a straight female. He had a bald head, and they made him pluck his eyebrows and all that stuff, and put makeup on and all that stuff. And they got him walking around jail looking like a female in the face. Wow.
Right. So, hey, I said the American community, geographic location, your community could be the jail community, because you have a problem with law and order. And you want to leave this community for the next community. And like they always say, the grass is not greener on the other side, right? So that's what a community is: a social unit of people who share a common geographical location, identity, values, or interests. So you don't want to share the values of the Bible. You're going to share values of something. So you want to be a Hoover, West Side Hoover. You want to be a Blood, Crip, Ringo, whatever. Christian Muslim. There's common values that you have to uphold, right? So, that's a community, and there's law and order. Every community, the Hoovers, they have law and order. If we say shoot, you're gonna shoot. Don't matter. Did he deserve it? Do you feel bad? Is it your cousin, your own brother? If they get the green light and you get the assignment, you gotta do it. Right? So that's what communities come with: laws and regulations, law and order. And some communities, when you decide to take part in them, you can't leave them communities. That's also part of the laws. So no matter where you go, there's laws and orders with any community. But the Christian church says, you niggas is wicked, you're trying to keep Moses' law.
Yeah, if you
right.
Join LK, the only way is out is you trying to do the family life, or you're gonna leave in the body life.
Right. Every community, there's law and order for every community, but you're crazy if you try to keep the standards of the Bible, the laws of the Bible, right? Trying to keep order within your various different organizations within the certain faith. That's wicked, but every community has it. So read this. So we read what a community is.
Communities need laws to maintain order, protect individual rights, and ensure public safety.
You have to have it. You have to have it for order. Without it, there's chaos. Protect individual rights. Like, that's the only way you can do it is with laws that everybody has to uphold to. That's a protection of individual rights. Because if we don't have laws that say, I can't borrow your money and then pretend like you gave it to me, then I can take that right. your individual right of being paid back the money that you loan out. If there's no law saying that I have to, your right is not protected. You're protected by that law and public safety. You know, even though America's wicked, all praises to the Most High that if you want to be a YN and you want to run around with ARs, shooting up the blocks, all praise to the Most High that they lock your ass up. And really, you should be thankful because the laws of God say you're supposed to get what? The laws of God say if you shoot the block up and you kill, life for life. You know, so what's the purpose of laws? Because that way, when the you know, amongst the community, those that are rebellious and malicious and selfish, it keeps them from being able to take advantage of you. It gives the laws give them something to think about because of the judgment for breaking. The Christianity said, nah, no laws and order, right? The church said, the Christian church says no law and order, but you have to have it to have a community. That's why the men have left that community, and all they're left with is flamers and old women, well, and young women, because the young women can come and twerk, right? Because there's no law and order. Go ahead, keep reading that.
Without a shared legal framework, society risks descending into chaos where the strongest or most ruthless dominate. Laws provide unpredictable foundation that allows people to live at work together and work together cooperatively.
Because inside every community, that's what you have. Those that's a little bit off in the mind, that wants everything to yourself, that's covetous, that's malicious, that's greedy. That's exactly where they'll bring that community. They'll bring it into chaos and where the strongest survive. So dog eat dog. That's gonna happen in any community. The only thing that can regulate that is penalties for those acts. Laws that say you can't do it. If you do this, you have to face this. If you want to spray the block and you kill 2 people, you have to be killed yourself. So now you, because of the laws, you're thinking twice. Is this worth it? Like, what am I going to accomplish by putting him in the grave if I'm going to have to be put in the grave behind him? What am I going to accomplish by stealing if I have to pay back 7? I already ain't got nothing, so I'm gonna steal to eat. But if once I get caught, now I'm really in the hole. I gotta pay back times 7. And I ain't gonna be able to pay that. So then I'm gonna have to be a slave to the person I stole from. So you're gonna think twice. That's what law and order does. And America ain't got that. Because the Christians will keep American law. They're always hating on God's law. God's law says if you steal from me, you owe me 7. America says, well, we'll put you in jail for 30 days. You don't owe the person you stole from nothing. Then you got court fines and you got to pay us. That's what they want us to follow, but not follow this. But any community, you have to have it. Keep going.
Laws serve the following core purposes: ensuring public safety from speed limits and seatbelt requirement to food safety regulations and medical licensing. Laws protect individuals from physical harm and hazards.
Mm-hmm. And don't we got that in America? I ain't never heard a Christian say nothing about keeping the traffic laws or paying your taxes or going to court when you get a speeding ticket or when you get stopped. Make sure you do everything to keep the officer from thinking you're a threat. That's what they tell us to follow, because it's a community, and it has to be. Go ahead.
Protecting rights and liberties. Laws define and defend, defend fundamental human rights, such as freedom of expression and the right to a fair trial, ensuring all members are treated fairly.
Mm-hmm. And just the same way America got these things, the Bible has these things. For all these, what you read now, the Bible has laws for protecting rights and liberties, and it has laws for ensuring public safety with righteous judgments, unlike the U.S. government, right? Go ahead.
Maintaining order and resolving conflicts. Legal systems outline acceptable behavior and provide an organized way to resolve disputes without resorting to violence or vigilantism.
Mm-hmm. So, you accidentally burn down your neighbor's vineyard. What do you gotta do? Right, you gotta give the fruits from your vineyard. You gotta replace what you burnt down. Laws maintain order, resolving conflicts. That's what the laws that are quote unquote done away with have laws to maintain order, resolve conflicts, and in a righteous way. Not where you go to jail and waste away for 5 years for stealing something, right? The person that got stole from doesn't get anything out of it, and you don't, and you waste away. But we got to keep that. Go ahead.
Promoting fairness. Rules ensure that everyone operates under the same standards, preventing exploitation, abuse, and discrimination by individuals, organizations, or the government itself.
So think about that. So the laws of God, they prevent exploitation from individuals, organizations, government. So how about individuals, pastors? Because the pastors, they don't like that. Because why? That's their whole objective. Get the money, organizations, or the government itself. Laws make it where the government can't get over on people. That's why the laws of God say you have to take care of the stranger, the widow, the orphan. You have to take care of the priest. And the laws are set where you can't lose your inheritance. Everybody's covered in the laws of God, from the top to the bottom. That's what laws do. Go ahead.
Enabling social progress. Laws reflect the society's value and can be adapted to address injustices, protect the environment, and respond to the new technologies or social shifts.
And the law of God can be adaptive too. I'll give you an example. The law says that if you build a house, you have to put barriers on your roof so that nobody falls off, right? Our houses, we don't have roofs like that. So, that's an ancient law. You can't apply that. Yes, you can. You have a porch on your front door is 8 feet off the ground. And you have a patio or porch, whatever you want to call it. Somebody could fall from that if you don't have what? Guardrails. That's that law. That's that law. So it's applicable, and it can be adapted to different situations. And every community has to have it. Because if the community don't have it, you'll have chaos. You'll have dog eat dog. The strong will take advantage of the weaker. That's why America, and they'll set laws. Even when that happens, laws will be set. When there's no laws and the strong take advantage of the weak, they set laws to keep the weak on the bottom. That's America.
Yeah.
But our leaders say, keep those laws, ignore these laws. And we still on the bottom. But the pastor's still getting rich. The law keeps you from the pastors getting rich, while they tell you to keep the laws of the strong that's oppressing the weak with their laws. That's what the law of God does. So what community do you want to be a part of? What is law? What is Torah? 1828 definition of the law. We'll go through a few because Paul said the law here, the law there is done away with, but then it's law keep it. Laws have multiple applications of law. That this word isn't subjected to one meaning. Somebody read that, please. So this is the 1828 Noah Webster definition. There's like 15 definitions of law. If you could start with just from the top, law. Anybody?
From law, this definition right here.
Come.
Law, the noun, lex, from the root of lay.
Mm-hmm.
See, lay. A law is that which is laid, set, or fixed, like statute, constitution. From statio.
Number one.
A rule, particularly an established or permanent rule prescribed by the supreme power of a state to its subjects for regulating their actions, particularly their social actions. Laws are imperative or mandatory, commanding what shall be done, prohibitory, restraining from what is to be forborne.
So this would apply to, for one, any community, but then especially a community of God's people and God's laying down what's to be done and not be done. And the Christian church says that's Jesus any old way. So Jesus laid down laws in the Torah, and so you can do away with them.
No, he done away with
He done away with them, but they're for the purpose of what shall be done, prohibitory. And when he comes back, he's killing. That's a whole nother thing. When he's coming back, the effeminate ain't getting in, the stealers,
he's judging you based off the law.
Based off the law. It's madness. But that's one, we ain't got to read the whole thing. That's one definition of law. Go to two.
Municipal law. Municipal law
is
a rule of civil conduct prescribed by the supreme power of a state, commanding what its subjects are to do and prohibiting what they are to forbear.
So that could change. That could change. Like there's municipal law, and if you don't have a municipality, okay, obviously you can't exercise municipal laws until you get that municipality back. But so that's 2, 3.
Law of nature is a rule of conduct arising out of the natural relations of human beings established by the Creator.
So you don't got to read the whole thing. Basically, a law of nature is just what makes you a human never changes.
Right.
Like what makes you a man never changes. It's a law of nature. So once again, but America, they want that law changed. They want that law changed, and they govern the church, don't they? They govern the church. Go teach them niggas this, that, and third, so you can do away with the law of nature. Now, what makes you a man doesn't no more. You can be a woman born a man because you say so. But that's a law, meaning it doesn't change. A man is born with these parts. A woman is born with these parts. And if you're a human being, you got these parts, arms, legs, head. That's a law of nature. So you have laws of nature, municipality laws, even laws of animal nature. You skip that. Vegetation, it's all the same thing. These are laws. Like what makes a vegetable is a law. Like these are different applications of law. What you would call it characteristics. what characteristics make that grass? You're saying what laws make that grass? But there's a bunch. It's 7 laws of nations. 8. Read 8.
Moral law, a law which prescribes to men their religious and social duties.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, their duties to God and to each other.
Like, how can that change? How can moral law change? Like, if God don't change, how can what's moral change? What's moral has always been. That's why I ain't gonna get it.
What happened?
Like, I was just gonna go to a precept, but that's why before the quote unquote law was given to Israel, the Lord already said Abraham was top notch because he kept my laws, statutes, and commandments. What's right, what's wrong? It doesn't. It's a law. It doesn't change. It doesn't. But that's what they want us to believe. That's what they're going to knock on you for trying to uphold what God said is morally correct and abstain from what's not.
It's like the laws of physics.
Yeah.
You can't go against it.
Yeah, you can't.
You throw something in the air, the laws of physics is it's going to come back.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can't
Exactly.
get around that. And you can't change it.
Yep.
Immutable God, immutable laws.
Mm-hmm.
Then last one, 15. So far there's 15 just for law. 15 definitions. I actually think it was more. I cut it off at 15. Go ahead.
A rule of direction, a directory as reason and natural conscience.
Mm-hmm. Right. So a rule of direction. All these things, you find in the scriptures. But obviously, if we don't have a kingdom to have a municipality, then obviously, that should go without being said. Obviously, we can't uphold laws for municipality. Or if the law said we can't sacrifice anywhere but here, then if we don't have that, which we don't, then obviously we're not following those laws. But it doesn't mean they're done away with.
Absolutely.
Because when the kingdom's restored, there's still going to be order. Now, if Mosai wanted to change them, that'd be on him. But why would he? They're not like spooky laws. The laws are laws that give order on how to do these things. Like, so when the kingdom comes, you're just going to take your animals up to the altar and slaughter them right there and let the blood leak all over. No, it should be common sense that there will be laws on how you bring your animals in the kingdom. So next, what is Torah? What does it mean? And the definition is up top. Number 2 is law, but read the first definition. This is the definition of Torah.
Definition of Torah: instruction, doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
Job 22:22.
So that's it. That just gives the rest. It just gives like references, but so instruction, doctrine. So the Torah is God's instructions. That's the Torah. The Torah is God's instructions. And like the Christian church says, Jesus is God. So if we play that game, then Jesus is instructions. That's the Torah. It's instructions. So when do you get to decide if what my creator says instructs me? Maybe he got it wrong. Like Michael Todd. Hey, God, what if there's an in between? Y'all seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe if there's you didn't see it? Michael Todd, you gotta look it up. So yeah, so he's talking about the creation, man and woman. And he's like hypothetically having a conversation with God when he's making man and woman. He's like, what if, can you make something in between?
Crazy.
It's crazy. So that's the mind state of Christianity. Like, okay, he instructed it, but maybe though, God, maybe we can change that. We can, and now why is our community the way it is? Simon got one real quick. But pastors say
What? They over.
yeah. It's only a minute. Yeah. Right. So watch this though. So he just said he mentioned the traffic light, right? Yeah. The traffic laws, yeah. Right. And without them, there's no, like, you break it, now there's a transgression. But without them, who's not driving 100? Who's not driving? How? I've never tried to do it, but if it wasn't a law, I'm sure it'd be at least 100 other people that try to get that needle to the max in their car. So you would have people driving around. Either way, the point is, you would have people driving around reckless. There's no stop signs. So if I don't want to stop, I'm just flying through here. And how many people would be dead? How many accidents would happen? Matter of fact, how many streets would stop being serviceable because there's so many accidents at every corner, you can't even drive no more.
Back up. So
he's talking about, that's where it falls on itself. That's why I'm glad I found this video. He just broke it down how it's off right there, because he brought up without a law, there's no transgression. Mm-hmm. And he brought up traffic laws and lights. Yeah, without traffic laws, without light, there's chaos, and to the point where it all falls apart. Because if you had an accident on every intersection, you wouldn't be able to drive out your house and even get to the 5 stop signs down the block no more.
Because of the lack of the law.
Because of the lack of the laws.
It's crazy.
And he said the devil wants you to. He said the devil wants you to.
How would you say this is possible?
Satan wants you to keep the law.
Where's that at in the Bible? God said to keep the law. Ecclesiastes 12:13 says that's the whole duty of man. Follow the commandments.
Mm-hmm.
For that's the whole duty of man.
Fear
God and keep the commandments. So
Mm-hmm.
What is he talking about? Where does it say anywhere that Satan says that? It is making up stuff.
Exactly.
If it was not for the law, this is not known sin.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, but that don't mean Satan made it.
It didn't say that sin didn't exist.
But that's what he's saying. Because now that Satan wants you to keep the law, because you can't keep the law, and then if you don't have the law, everything falls on itself.
Yeah.
You don't have a community. You don't have peace.
They try to over philosophize not keeping the law.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Like they make it so deep. Like it's so deep, and it ain't.
Mm-hmm.
They try to make it sound like it's so, like, yeah, because this is why we don't gotta keep the law. And they try to break it down so deeply and eloquently for no reason.
And
it's simple.
Like you said, they try to make it like you can't keep it.
Right.
How can't you keep it?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been going through the Torah, and every place they fail is when it's time to go conquer or have faith. They didn't have faith. That's where the problem is. But they talking about faith, but you can't have faith without obedience. Like you can't have a kingdom, you can't have a society without the law, without laws, stoplights and traffic laws. Without, if it was, you wouldn't have tickets if it wasn't for those laws. You need them tickets because them tickets at least put it in the back of somebody's mind. All right, let me act like I'm not the only person on this earth. Let me act like that. That's what laws do. So, hey, what's the Bible actually say on the law? First verse, First Maccabees 2:19-22. Because we get this doctrine from our religious leaders, right? Christianity, Catholicism, whatever, Baptist, Protestant, you name it, right? They teach this garbage. The Bible says different.
Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away, every one from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. Yahweh forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
Mm-hmm.
We will not hearken to the king's words to
Mm-hmm.
go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
So, yeah. So our religion is what? The law. See, it's our religious leaders teaching us that the law is done away, it doesn't matter. But that's your religion. And that is religion, because definition of religion is ties into how you serve your prospective God or whatever. I'm not going to pull up that definition right now, but that's what religion means. So there's only one religion. That religion is obedience to the instructions of God. Jedediah, I just read your comment. What I'm going to do is, because they couldn't hear the video online, I'm going to try and put the link. I'm going to try and put that link in the chat right quick. If I can figure out how.
Somebody asked for the donations. I'll put the Cash App in there, but I don't see it anymore. Did it disappear?
So I just put the link for the video in the chat. Basically, what Creflo Coon was saying is the devil wants you to keep the law. So it's like a 1-minute video. Anybody that wants to check it out, the link is in the comments. And you said somebody said something about donations.
Yeah, but I sent the Hebrew Chosen in the comment. I don't see it anymore.
All right, just I don't know. Try to drop it again. But yeah, so the Bible says that our law is our religion, right? So I don't know what he's talking about. The church is talking about you don't got to do the law. The devil wants you to do the law. It's all folly. It's all madness. The Bible says that that's real. That's our religion, specifically Israel. But that's real religion. You obey or don't obey. But you're not following or worshiping or serving a God if you disobey him. Period. Let me get additions to Esther 16:15.
And it reads, but we find that the Jews whom this wicked wretch have delivered to utter destruction are no evildoers, but live by most just laws.
And that at this time, that was the Persians, the Medes. And they was saying, they was giving a witness that our laws are the most just laws. Because, and that's in comparison to what? Every other, this king went and conquered the known world at the time. So every other nation that he went and conquered, they had laws because communities have laws, have standards. But he said in regards to this nation, whose laws is the laws of God, he said they have most just laws. We have most just laws, right? So Romans 13:8.
Owe no man anything, but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law.
Ain't that what they talk all the time? Jesus is love. All you gotta do is love. You don't gotta keep the law, just love one another. Paul said, he that loveth another fulfilled the law. This is where, and these are the main people that say that's your interpretation. No, you're taking something and trying to interpret it as something that's not. Paul said that he that loveth another fulfilled the law. You're saying that you don't have to do the law because you loved another, so you fulfilled the law. You don't have, you're interpreting that. You're mixing it up. It don't make sense, and it sounds stupid. Because the law that Paul knows, the law that Paul abides by, said what? Love your brother as yourself. Thou shalt not bear a grudge against thy neighbor, but shalt love him, and in any way rebuke him, and not suffer sin upon him. So that's what it means. You followed the law which teaches you how to love your brother, love your sister. You followed that, you obeyed that, so you fulfilled love in the law. Verse 9.
For this, thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not kill.
See, because I don't see what's hard to understand. He's saying you fulfilled the law by loving your brother. Now he's going into what? You fulfilled not committing adultery. I don't get it.
The law.
Yeah, I don't get it. How you can fall for that coonery. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not kill.
Law.
Thou shalt not steal.
Law.
Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Law. Like top 10. And Cleflo has another video saying the 10 commandments are done away with. These are, read again. Did you say covet?
Thou shalt not covet.
Top 10, if you want to go 10. Top 10. Paul saying that's fulfilling love. It's crazy.
And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Leviticus 19.
Which ain't even the 10 commandments.
Yeah, so what's Torah mean? What's the definition of Torah?
Law, instruction.
Instruction. The Torah, the law, instructs you on how to do this action. So how do you throw that away? What happens when you throw it away? You make up your own rules on what love is. So I don't feel like stealing from you is lack of love. Or, well, Paul said I can't steal. Well, let's come up with one that's not on this list. I'm making up my own definition of love. Let's see. Don't covet. See, covet kind of covers anything I'm going to say would be covered in not covet. And that's the problem. And this is what white America knows. And then they told the theology schools to teach them blacks, right? They don't know what it means to covet. And a lot of us don't. So that's where you can get trick bag, because it says not to covet. So I covered that. I'm not coveting. But guess what? You work 7 days a week so that you can have a house like your neighbor. So Paul didn't say that, but ain't you coveting? Because you need the house and same car that your neighbor got, and it costs more than your means. So you can't take a Shabbat. You can't take any days off because you have to get it. Aren't you coveting? Huh? Right. So, but we don't think that far. A lot of us A lot of us are dropouts. A lot of us, we're straight A students. Don't mean you're smart. And don't mean you know what it means to covet. Does it? Verse 10.
For love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law.
2 Timothy 3, verse 15 to 17. So you have to have these things in a community. You have to have it to keep order. Because if you don't have the laws that Paul's referencing, if you don't have them, everything that he said you won't do, that you will do. That's exactly what you'll have. 2 Timothy 3:15.
And it reads, and that from a child thou hast known the Holy Scripture.
And so what's he talking about?
Torah.
This is right, because this is Paul. This hasn't even been wrote yet. So he says, you've known the Holy Scriptures. Go ahead.
Which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through the faith which is Mashiach Yahushua.
So he's saying the Torah and the prophets and the writings. Ain't he like the head of the Christian church today? Ain't he the go-to? But isn't he letting us know that this is what they were following and taught in the Christian church that's replaced Israel? Like, there's a new Christian church. Paul, he's the apostle to the Gentiles and this, that, and third. What's they teaching? The Torah and the prophets. They're teaching the law. This is Christian doctrine. But the problem is you read Holy Scriptures and you think that that's something different. You think that that's talking about Mark, Luke, Matthew, John, Acts. No. This is the same time frame. These books weren't written yet. When it says the Holy Scriptures, it's not talking about the Gilgamesh epics. It's talking about Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Numbers, Psalms, Isaiah. It's talking about all the Proverbs, all the writings of the Old Testament that's done away with. Those are the scriptures that they had on hand. And he said that will make you wise unto salvation. Go ahead.
Verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness.
This is the law that we're supposed to do away with. We're supposed to stop trying to follow and make up our own definitions of love and what's right, what's wrong. Right? But this is the head of today's Christian church saying that it's profitable for you for doctrine. It's profitable for reproof, correction, instruction. Verse 17.
That the man of Yahweh may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
So what furnished you to good works? The law, the Torah, the writings, the prophets. Proverbs 3:1-2. Because right now we're going through what is the law, right? Because everybody has a law. Every community has laws. We're trying to uphold to God's laws, and we're going through what they are. Just some points on what the law is, right? Proverbs 3:1-2.
My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments.
So don't forget the law, and it's going to say why. This is what the law does. Go ahead.
For length of days.
So it provides length of days.
And long life. And peace shall they add to thee.
Keeping the law adds length of days, long life, and peace. Do we have that in our communities? No, we don't. We have churches, though. We have a bunch of them. And we have a whole bunch of lawless men, women, and children that are dying young or living in chaos, right? Dying young or living old, suffering from countless diseases, countless hardships. The law brings them for days long life and peace. Right? First Timothy, last one on what the law is. First Timothy 1, verse 8 to 10.
But we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully.
He said the law is good if used lawfully. Go ahead. Because you can use a law real quick. You can use a law to oppress. And that's what it means. If it's used lawfully. What's lawfully? 1 Corinthians 10:25 for the good of the people. That's what it's for. It's to keep a community in order. It's to keep the people in the community safe from being taken advantage of. And all the other things we read above. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and disobedient.
Real quick, what does that mean? That means it's not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and disobedient. Because that man already is keeping it. That's what that means. The law is made for the lawless because the law has to let you know what Paul say, I wouldn't have known sin if it wasn't for the law. Yeah, you have a problem with it. You have to do it. The righteous man, he's already doing it. Go ahead. Disobedient.
Disobedient for the ungodly and for sinners, for unholy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine.
So you have to have the law that says you can't do this, and if you do, this punishment will come upon you. And he said that's good if it's used lawfully. You have, once again, you have to have it. You have to have it. Because who was born perfect? Who's the earth given into the hand of? The wicked. So without the law, without this Bible, you have lawless, disobedient murderers, fathers, mothers, enslayers, whoremongers, everything, defilers of themselves with mankind, everything you see in the black and brown community that has 100 churches in it that's saying you don't got to keep the law. But Paul said the law is good and it's for these people. So how are we going to fix a community? How are we going to keep a community ordered? Through the law of God, not the law, obviously not the law of Christianity, which is the law of grace. The importance of leaders.
There, Proverbs 16, 25, 26. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
So, real quick, so this is the first verse to show the importance of leaders, because everybody has their own thoughts. Everybody has their own idea of what's right, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So you have to have leaders because everybody's going to judge for themselves. And you have desires and you want those desires. And at the end of the day, if you don't have somebody checking you, you're going to find a way to make what you want to do right. That's why people steal so easily, because how do they justify it? I had to do it. Yeah, I had to do it. You'll tell yourself I didn't have any other choice. So that's why you have to have leaders, because there's a way that seems right unto a man, and everybody has their own idea of what that is. but that might be the way of death. Go ahead, verse 26.
He that laboreth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him.
And that's what I was going into. Like, everybody that's just in the flesh, that's just not, in the truth, given to obedience to God, everybody's in it for themselves. Everybody's about. That's why you'll steal and you'll tell yourself it's okay because you had to, because every man labors for himself. You understand? Do y'all understand? That makes sense? Yeah. You because you're gonna do what you have to do, right? So you have to have leaders. You have to have people that have unbiased opinions and can look on the different problems or questions or situations with an unbiased outlook. Sirach 44, 1-4.
Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begat us. The Most High hath wrought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning. Such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding and declaring prophecies. Leaders of the people by their counsels and by their knowledge of learning, meet for the people, wise and eloquent are their instructions.
So you have to have leaders, and the Bible praises them as famous men that are good at giving counsel. They're renowned, so they're known for their power, which is judgment, right? Leaders of the people by their counsel and knowledge of learning meet for the people. So their whole learning, their whole purpose isn't for themselves, it's for the people. And that's what they're known for, men of renown. And the Bible calls them famous men, right? So you have to have rank and order. And yeah, obviously there's people out there that pretend to be that. But when you see that, you have to judge the matter, know them by their fruits, and don't fall under them. It's scriptures say not to make yourself an underling to a fool. So you're gonna have people out there that's elders, and they and I'm talking about Israelite community, Christian community, Muslim community, elders that's elder in age, and they're seen as, oh, they've been through it and they can judge matters and they've made it to this level. Yeah, you're gonna have people that's not up to standard, right? And really faking the funk. So, don't give yourself to be an underling to them. But you got to have that in the community. Proverbs 31, 8-9.
Open thy mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction.
So somebody has to speak for those that can't speak for themselves. This is why the importance of leaders. You have to have people that can speak for those that can't speak for themselves. Go ahead.
Verse 9, open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy.
Because who is the first to get taken advantage of? The weak, the poor and needy. So you have to have leaders that meet the criteria, biblical standard, because they can be able to plead the cause for the poor, the needy, for the weak. And I can even, let's real quick, we can even show Esau and the ungodly. They'll use law to oppress the people. I think it's Wisdom of Solomon 2. Wisdom of Solomon 2. And 10 down. Somebody read that.
Let us oppress the poor righteous man
Mhm.
Let us not spare the widow, nor rubbish the ancient gray hairs of the age.
And so this is an example. This is what we have here in America, right? They oppress the poor. Like I said before, no matter what community, nation, there's laws. So you don't do God's laws, do America's laws, which they oppress the poor, righteous man. Go ahead.
Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
So this is why you have to have leaders that's going to plead their cause. Because when the wicked are in authority, and you don't have leaders that keep a biblical standard, men of God, that's what you have. You have a nation like the one we live in, right? And the pastors want us to stay in bondage to that because guess what? That's how they get their money, right? Sirach 10, 1-3.
A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Mm-hmm.
As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is. Such are all they that dwell therein.
So there's always going to be a ruler. There's always going to be leaders. And that's exactly how the people is going to be. So we have once again, what's in our neighborhoods? Drug dealers, whores, drug addicts, YNs. Did I miss one?
Old fools and drunks.
Old fools and drunks. Who's our leaders? Rappers, celebrities, and number one, are religious leaders. Who was our leaders in the civil rights movement? Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, mainly Martin Luther King, right?
His message is more palatable.
And who picked up after him? Jesse Jacksons, your Al Sharptons.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever is the leader of the church on your block, that's our first leaders. And because those are our leaders are also rappers and celebrities. I seen something online the other day that said the black community is the only community that's leaders are celebrities.
Yeah.
And you think about it, it's true. Like Steve Harvey is a comedian, and he would be seen as a leader in the black community. What the hell does he know? His best work was Kings of Comedy. His best work was Kings of Comedy, and where he played a teacher on the CW network. But no other community, no other nation has celebrities as leaders. Bruce Lee wasn't a leader of the Asian community.
They looked at him as like a traitor.
Yeah. So why is that?
He was teaching other nations his ways.
No, I'm saying why is it that that's with us? Because we had a code. We had a law that we left from, and we following behind so-called religious leaders that's telling us not to follow it. And not to have, and then we have people in our community, if you want to go to the Israelite community, that knocks having rank and order. But you always had that. You had that when you was a Christian. You had that when you was just a regular old YN yourself that didn't go to church. That was still your leader, because that's why you're running so rampant, because that is your leadership. So you gotta have the laws of God, and you gotta have leaders that live accordingly to this standard. Keep going.
Jeremiah 14, 2 and 3. Judah mourneth.
Hold up. All right.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are blackened to the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is going up. And their nobles have sent their little ones to the water. They came to the pit and found no water. They returned with their vessels empty. They were ashamed and confounded and covered their head.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go to the Most High Word, where we used to go to, that, you know, we're under the curse that we'll forget our inheritance. Here we are, that we replace those, our priests, with our current day nobles, your actors, your comedians, and your sports figures. That now these people who lead us, these are our new nobles.
Mm-hmm.
And when we follow their curriculum, that we go to the water for wealth, and there's nothing there. It's dry. It's a dry well. One out of 200 million of y'all might be elected to be a pro basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dry well.
But that's everybody chasing.
Exactly.
After that one out of hundreds of thousands spot.
And these are appointed spots from Esau.
Salakia, it's more meat on there.
Mm-hmm.
They say Judah is in a state of mourning. We are in a state of mourning. We see our communities, it's a lot of violence. You know what I mean? We turn out whores and stuff like that. We're in a state of mourning, and it says the gates thereof language. That represents the leadership. That means we lacking in leadership. You know what I mean? Right there. So we are lacking in leadership because we follow behind the Steve Hardys and the comedians, and we was following behind Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and Jesse Lee Peterson, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? We're looking at them like they are leaders. Like, that's foolishness, man.
Mm-hmm.
So our leadership is lacking. It's in language.
Con.
4.
Mm.
4 says, because the ground is chapped, for there was no rain in the earth. The plowmen are ashamed, they covereth their head. There's no rain, or there's no word of the Most High on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
We're listening to what Esau has as a plan.
Con. Finish that Sirach.
What did I stop at?
You read 2.
Verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited.
Mm-hmm. So unwise king destroys the people. So that shows the importance of having leadership that's righteous and living according to the laws of God, because unwise king would destroy the people. And who's more destroyed than black and brown people in America? And like we just went over, our leadership is celebrities. First and foremost, before that, the Christian church leaders. Esau, whatever he say, go. He's giving our pastors and leaders the doctrine for them to teach us. Right? So yeah, we got, now our men that try and be something are chasing basically a fairy tale. And when you fail at chasing that dream, what are you left with? Death, because you're left with now back to the block. Either being an addict, a dealer, or just an old fool on the corner getting drunk, or a YN. I mean, that's all you're left with. So that's because of the leadership. Like it just said, an unwise king destroyeth his people. Not just any people, his people. So if we had wise rulership by following what the pastor is telling us, why would we still be destroyed as a people? So next question, we kind of just already read one answer to it. What happens to a community that doesn't have godly leaders? And like I said, we just read one. He destroys his people. That's one. Let's start Lamentations 5:14-17.
The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music.
Mm-hmm.
The joy of our heart is ceased.
So when the elders have ceased from the gate, the joy ceases. Go ahead.
Our dance is turned into mourning.
Mm-hmm.
The crown is fallen from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned. For this our heart is faint. For these things our eyes are dim.
For these things our eyes are dim. So without the elders, because they ceased in the gate, we don't have joy, and our eyes are dim. Because what are we missing? What we read in Sirach 44. Men of renown, known for their counsel and their wisdom and understanding, and their learning for the people. So we're missing that. So it's a trickle down effect when you lack it. And that's why, so our so-called religious leaders are just bringing our people into more darkness, because they're teaching the opposite of the instructions that our so-called God gave us. 2 Timothy 3:1-7.
This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come.
Mm-hmm.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves,
Mhm.
covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh,
Mm-hmm.
having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof.
So that'll go into our pastors that first off, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. Everything we just read is from lack of having that leadership, because our pastors have a form of godliness. But go ahead.
From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts.
This who's the main congregants of the Christian church today? Women and flamers. So we have in our community, because of the lack of leadership, the covetous, the boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, right? Unthankful, unholy, without natural affection. That's why it's so easy to run down somebody that looks just like you and gun them down, put them in the grave, right? Like, it ain't even regular guns no more. You got to have the switch on. You can't just have a regular gun. You got to have it. When you pull that trigger, it got to go. It got to empty the clip. And that's what, and why is that? Because that's a desire that our people have. I have to have a switch because I want to empty the clip in my op. Even though my real op is patrolling my neighborhood, waiting for me to gun my brother down so that he can lock me up and he can destroy his op because of lack of leadership. And because our leaders, how are they so attractive to the people? Because they have a form of godliness. Oh, they dress so good. They talk so good. They got the degrees. But they wicked as hell. And they creep into houses and lead captive silly women. That's why in the church today, they allowing twerking. That's why they laying down with the women of the church. Right? Verse 7.
Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
Yeah, and as long as our leaders are teaching these falsehoods, then us as a people, we're stuck ever learning from these false leaders, but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. Isaiah 51:17-20. Just showing the effects of not having godly leadership.
Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which hast drunk at the hand of the Most High the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung them out. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth.
So we that's what we lack, right? We as a people still lack proper guidance from leadership. Go ahead.
neither is there any that taketh her by the hand of all the sons that she had brought up.
Mm-hmm.
These two things are come unto thee.
Mm-hmm.
Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction and the famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee?
Mm-hmm.
Thy sons have fainted.
Go ahead.
They lie at the head of all the streets,
as
a wild bull in a net.
Mm-hmm.
They are full of the fury of the Most High, the rebuke of thy power.
And what's that sound like?
Sound like the young boys acting all week at the end of the street corners.
Yup.
Selling drugs, getting drunk, cutting up, letting loose with the switch, like you said.
Yup.
Fighting the young bulls, wild bulls.
Yup.
Caught the net, setting up in the trap. Don't realize that it's a trap.
Yeah, and where they end up in that trap?
Trapped.
They end up in the jail. They wild like a wild bull caught in the net. Right? This also, and you can see this even in our community. When there's no leadership, what happens? You got Israel. Well, specifically, that leaves an opening for I can wear fringes and I can teach one day, and the next day I can be throwing up my flag. I'm never throwing it down. I'm always throwing it up. And I'm still got my fringes. I'm still Israel. Or I can do what I got. I teach on Saturday, but I sell a little bit of this on the side, a little bit of that, because I got to eat. That's what happens without leadership. See, in our community, we value too much. If you're a leader, if your breakdown on Isaiah 14:1 is the same as mine, or Revelation 13:6, or your breakdowns. But leadership wasn't never about breakdowns. It was about establishing a rule and order and bringing up the young men to replace them, to do the same to the young men that come after them. As a community, there has to be leaders. And it's always supposed to have been about living up to the standard, not about if you make good videos, not about if I like your breakdowns, not about if I like your counsel for me all the time or not. You can. What happened with Ahab or Ahaz? Ahab, which one was married to Jezebel? Ahaz. Ahab didn't like Micaiah. Why?
Because he didn't prophesy what he wanted to hear.
He didn't prophesy what he wanted to hear. And that's what we got even inside the community of Israel in the quote-unquote truth. People get mad and will leave. And it ain't got to be on a big level. It can be inside a small camp like this. I don't like the judgment y'all gave on me. So I'm just going to leave and just wreck a whole nother camp. I don't want to serve that. What do you mean I can't teach for a month? But that's needed. And sometimes it won't go your way. But you can, but that's the crazy part. You can't escape that.
But in righteous judgment, you're supposed to feel a conviction within yourself.
You are.
So if somebody gives a judgment to you, even if they give that judgment, even after that judgment, you still ain't gonna feel right within yourself. Even getting up and doing things like that, teaching, reading and stuff, because you convicted within yourself. You gotta find it to be convicted within yourself, because judgment starts with yourself. You gotta get your house in order. Clean the house starts with yourself. Then reprove the people.
Yeah, and then where are you escaping to?
Nowhere.
Like you
America. Yourself. Everywhere you go,
yeah,
there you are.
and rebuke. You can't hide from rebuke. You can't hide from rules, standard. So America, they got the rules. But let's just talk about what everybody runs to this, because you have to. Everybody runs to a job. And it's your job. You're not gonna stomp your feet and quit if Esau brings you in the office and rebukes you about whether you was speeding or not, right? Because I used to drive trucks, and everything's monitored on the truck. And if you were speeding on the New Jersey Turnpike, guess what? You might be in that office. You gonna stomp your feet and leave? No. Guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna stop speeding. And you're just gonna be happy that you ain't have to pay nothing or possibly get your keys took. Right? Yaquab, if the car loader tells you we don't like the way you've been securing these cars, if you don't do it our way, we're gonna stop giving you cars to haul. What you gonna do?
No, I'm gonna do it the way they want, so I can keep business.
Thank you. Everywhere you go, you're gonna have a standard to keep.
We do got a standard to keep.
Everywhere.
I've got to cook things to a certain temperature. I've got cut things the way they need to be cut to a standard. It's got to have a certain amount of fat content. You got to be to work on time. You got to put food out in a certain amount of time. It got to be plated a certain way. Those is laws, tricks of the trade. You got to do it their way.
And if you don't, it's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
And I was talking about truck driving. I just seen earlier today a flatbed truck had lost about 100 gallons of either spackle or paint splattered all over the exit on New Jersey Turnpike. And you can see the low. Why? Because he didn't strap them to standard. Because when he was taught how to strap these flatbed loads, he knew the right way. But because of time, because I did flatbed before too, throwing them straps, whole 40-foot trailer. Yeah, it takes time. You kind of want to leave. But when you decide to do your own thing, and yeah, it's nice and tight when you leave, but you didn't put covers on these buckets. By the time you make it down the highway, them straps are going to find their way in between them buckets, and they ain't going to be secure no more. When you go around the curve, they're going to spill all over the place. And that's so no matter where you go, everywhere you go, first off, there has to be a law and order. There has to be leaders to keep those that want to cut corners in line, period. You can't stomp and get mad and walk away. Because say you so you say, I don't know what happened to this driver, but say he goes and gets rebuked and don't even get fired. If he don't fix that problem, or if he stomps and walks away, he's not going to get away from that. Where the next place he goes is going to be the same thing. So, and it has to be done, or else, like we was talking about earlier with the stop lights and stop signs, or else there'll be so many accidents that you can't even use streets because of the lack of traffic rules. The whole traffic system will fall apart. Wisdom of Solomon 14, 22, 26.
Wisdom of Solomon 14, 22, 26. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in knowledge of Yahweh, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously, or grieved him by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception, blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, and perjury. Disquieting of men, forgetfulness of good terms, defiling of souls, changing of kind disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanliness.
All this is said because of lack of earning the knowledge of God. So this is prevalent in our communities because lack of the knowledge of God. But we got the leadership. That's why you have to have godly, righteous leadership that obeys and teaches the knowledge and laws of God. Isaiah 59:4, then 7:11, then 14:15.
Isaiah 59:4. None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity.
This is our passage. Go ahead. Verse 7.
Verse 7. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace.
And I know you saying that not my pastor. My pastor doesn't run to evil, make haste to shed innocent blood. That's what you think. But he definitely does. Because he okays and signs off on abortions, don't he? So what you mean he don't shed innocent blood? This is your pastor. And even if he doesn't take part physically, he's the reason that your sons do. Go ahead.
Therefore is judgment far from us, neither though justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity, for brightness, but we walk in darkness. We grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday as in the night. We are in desolate places as dead men. We roar all like bears and mourn sore like doves. We look for judgment, but there is none for salvation. But it is far off from us.
Verse
and judgment
14.
is turned away backward, and justice standeth. Salakia. Judgment, Salakia.
Judgment 14. And
14.
Judgment stand.
And judgment is turned away backward,
Right.
and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, equity cannot enter. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. And Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment.
So this is the outcome of the leadership that we have in our communities, which is a lack of leadership. This is the outcome of the elders ceasing in the gate. This is, it said, truth faileth. Christ said, the truth shall set you free. And when he said that, he was speaking of what?
Righteous judgment.
Righteous judgment, the laws of God, the word of God. But we're told, don't keep that. We're told that having rank and order and trying to have godly men look over younger men and try to create that culture for our kids to come up and do the same, that's evil. But from not having these things, this is what you get. Everything we just went over. And it's 4:49, so we'll pick back up at this Deuteronomy next week. And we'll drop it. We'll stop it right at that marker. So anybody got anything they want to add before I close out? Any questions, announcements, anything from y'all here in class? Nah, y'all going good?
Yeah,
So yeah, we'll close it out. Hope the class was edifying. I give all praise, glory, and honor Yahweh by Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father in the Hebrew, and Yahweh Shai being the true name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. Remember, Pentecost coming up. So if you'd like to come, RSVP. Also, Cash App been going across the bottom of the screen. And until next time, Shabbat Shalom and Kwam Yashala.
good.